The volleyball game. In volleyball history, volleyball is recognized as a truly international, widely played, popular sport. Volleyball originated in the United States in 1895 as a blend of basketball, baseball, tennis, and handball. Today, volleyball has spread to 211 around the world. In 1895, William G. Morgan, an instructor at the Young Men's Christian Association of the YMCA in Holyoke, Mass., he created the game of volleyball at the time, called mintonette. For the first time in the history of volleyball, volleyball was played in the Pan American Games in 1955. In 1957, volleyball was designated as an Olympic team sport by the International Olympic Committee or the IOC. In 1959, the International University Sport Federation had volleyball be one of the 8 competitions held in First University Games in Turin, Italy. In 1960, 7 Midwestern institutions formed the Midwest Intercollegiate Volleyball Association, or the MIVA. In 1960, new volleyball techniques were developed: off-speed hits, open hand tips, forearm passing, blocking at the net, and defensive plays such as diving and sprawling become a big part of the game. With the FIVB already having its own world championship, the FIVB directed its attention to the Olympic Games. Thanks to the Bulgarian Volleyball Federation, a tournament took place in Sofia in 1957 during International Olympic Committee meeting. As a result of this event, volleyball became an Olympic sport. In 1964, volleyball was played in the Olympic in Tokyo. Volleyball became a part of the Olympic Games, which allowed its growth even more. Also, in 1964 Olympics, the Japanese used a volleyball that consisted of a rubber casing with leather panels. A similar ball is used in modern volleyball competitions. And in 1969, a new international event, the World Cup, was introduced. The World Cup would be turned into a qualifying event for the 1991 Olympic Games. In 1974, Japanese telecasted a major volleyball event in Mexico, the World Championships. In 1983, the Association of Volleyball Professionals, or the AVP, was founded by Leonard Armato. The organization started its own beach volleyball tour in the United States in 1984. By the late 1980s, the AVP tour was growing fast due to the promotion of the sport by the professional beach player Tim Holland, St. John Smith, Randy Stoklos, and Mike Dodd. In 1986, the Women's Professional Volleyball Association, or the WPVA, was formed to administer, govern, and protect the integrity of women's professional beach volleyball. In 1987, the FIVB added a Beach Volleyball World Championship Series of 1989. The FIVB Sports Aid Program was created in 1990. A men's volleyball competition called the World League was created. The World League is the longest and most flourishing of all international events organized by the FIVB. The tournament is an annual event. In 2006, prize money became a major deal with $20 million being distributed among 16 participating teams from 5 continents. The World League is sometimes confused with the other international volleyball competition, Volleyball World Cup and Volleyball World Championship. In 1995, the sport of volleyball turned 100 years old. In 1996, for the first time in the history of volleyball, beaches doubles volleyball is included in the Olympic Games. Is the rules and regulation in volleyball. Each team is composed of 6 players, 3 players in the front row and 3 players in the back row. The game begins with a serve. The serve comes from behind the end line of the volleyball court. Each team gets 3 touches. Each team is allowed to touch the ball 3 times before it returns to the other side of the net. If contact is made for a fourth line, the play is dead and the team will receive a point. Teams can hit it less than 3 times if they wish to do so. Hit the floor to score. Points are scored when the volleyball lands in an opposing team's side of the court. It means that the ball traveled over the net and landed within the court of play. The line is in. If the ball hits the court boundary, it is considered to be in. Points are considered when the opposing team hits the ball out. The ball is considered out if it lands out the court boundaries, hits the antenna, or make contact with the ceiling. The ball can touch the net on its way over. The ball is allowed to make contact with the net regardless of it is on serve, attack, block, etc. You can play the ball off the net. If the ball is driven off the net, you can continue to play it as long as it is within your team's 3 contact. If the team serves wins the point, they will continue to serve. If they lose the point, the opposing team will become the servers. Teams rotate clockwise when they become the serve. This means that the one front row player will become a back row player and vice versa. Games ends at 25 points. The game is over when one team scores a designated amount of points, most often 25 points. Individual player cannot hit the ball 2 consecutive times. Contact must be instantaneous or the players cannot catch or hold the volleyball. Double hit. Hitting the ball twice during the same action. You can only double hit if it occurs during the team first contact, during serve, receive, or often on opponent attack. Players cannot assist a teammate with hitting the ball. This means that you can help a teammate by throwing them into the air or allowing them to jump off your back in an effort to hit the volleyball. Of rotation. This can occur if you serve out of rotation as well as you are not in rotation during the opposing team's serve. Back row attack. This is when a players attack the ball over the net while they are in the back row, or it is according to their rotation. Row cannot attack the ball, the net regardless of where they are on the court. Row cannot block ever. You cannot block a serve. You must allow the opposing team's serves to become over the net. Blocking the serve is illegal and will result in a point with the serving team. Over the net violation. You cannot penetrate the net unless the opposing team is attacking. This means that you are not allowed to block a set from the opposing team. Ball must be inside the antenna. If you hit the ball outside of the antenna, it is considered to be out of play regardless of where it lands. Net violation. You cannot make contact with the top of the net during an action such as an attack or block. You can make contact with the net if it does not affect the play. You cannot create a wall of players to screen the opposing team while you are serving. So, dimension and equipment. So, this is the volleyball court diagram. A volleyball court is 18 meter long and 9 meter wide, divided into 9 by 9 meters halves by a 1 meter wide net. The top of the net is 2.43 meters above the center of the court for men's competition and 2.24 meters for women's competition, varied for veterans and junior competition. The minimum height clearance for indoor volleyball court is 7 meters, although a clearance of 8 meters is recommended. The equipment. So we have the ball. The standard volleyball is made of leather or synthetic leathers, weighs between 9 to 10 ounces and has a circumference of 25.6 to 26.4 inches. The ball has rubber bladder and can be one color or a combination of colors. Synthetic leathers is lighter and is fine for beginners players. Junior volleyball for children 12 years old and younger between 7 and 8 ounce. Court. The outdoor volleyball court measures 18 by 9 meters, surrounded by a free zone that is 2 meters wide on all sides. The minimum playing space for US volleyball competition is 7 meters. The volleyball net is 32 feet long by 3 feet wide. For women, the net should be 7 feet 4 and 1/8 inches high. For men, the net should be 7 feet 11 5 8 inches high. US regulation volleyball playing surfaces must be flat and not present any hazards to the player. The playing court is marked by 2 sidelines and 2 end lines. All lines must be 2 inches wide and must be created with a light color that is easy to discern from the playing court. An attack line should be placed 3 meters from the center line. The lines divides the court into 2 9 by 9 meter courts. Post and cables. The volleyball net structure is held together with metal cables and posts. Posts are placed 0.5 to 1 meter outside the side lanes and 2.25 meters high. Should be round, smooth and padded to prevent the injury to the players should they dive or crash into them. Metal wires and cables may need to be covered if it is determined that they are present a danger to the players. Antenna and sidebands. Antenna are flexible rods that are 1.8 meter long, made of fiberglass fastened at the outer edge of each sideband. Sidebands are 2 white bands attached vertically to the net and placed above each sideline. Knee pads. Knee pads should be sturdy enough to protect your knees from fall, slides and dives, but flexible enough to allow you to bend comfortably. Shoes. Arcs and ankle support is key when choosing a volleyball shoe. Mizuno, Asics, and Nike are just a few of the popular brands of volleyball shoes, which are lightweight, allowing you to faster on your feet, as well as bearing good shock absorption of your toes. Volleyball shoes also provide to better lateral movement than typical running or crossing training shoes. Clothing and jewelry. All clothing should be lightweight to allow maximum flexibility and breathability, as well as made of materials that absorb sweat and keeps skin dry. Officiating. In officiating, we have the first referee, and it is also known as the APP. Referee starts the match, judges its play, and calls the technique fouls, assigns points and side outs as they occur to each qualifying team, and also makes the final decision on questionable plays. He is called the APP because they climb up and call the game from an elevated volleyball stand. The second referee. The second referee is across the first referee on the opposite sides of the net, officiating the game from the ground. The second referee, one of the volleyball official, sometimes known as the down referee, assists and supports the first referee mainly by calling fouls that occur under the net. We have the scorer. He operates their function from a table, the scorer table, which is located behind the second referee. We have the linesmen. When there are 2 official linesmen, one stands at the corner where the sideline and the service line meet on one side, and the other linesman stands in the same place on the opposing team side. In official game, the linesmen will have a flag in their hand. If not, they will make the call using their arms. Their responsibility is to judge whether a ball has landed inside or out of the side lanes or service line, and to call any block touches. And last, the game. The game volleyball is played by 2 teams, usually of 6 players on side, in which the player use their hands to bat a ball back and forth over high net. trying to make the ball touch the court with the opponent's playing area before it can be returned. So that's all, and thank you for watching.